Today on Locked On Rockies, I don't know if I've ever seen something quite like that, but that was some fun and an exciting baseball over the weekend.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 4th day of August in the year 2025. A happy birthday to my wife out there. Shout outs to her, as August 4th is her birthday. But we are your daily Colorado Rockies podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, guess what? You're in the right spot, because that's what we do around here each and every day, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk. And we're also on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. I want to get to some reactions to the trade deadline and some more from the Locked On Rockies YouTube comment section. So hopefully we're going to get to that. But with how crazy that series was, I don't know. No, I don't want to promise and not follow through. So that is the goal for the segment number 3. Want to get we did get some reactions from Friday's game already and reactions to the trade deadline. So we'll talk about that. But we'll talk about just an absolutely fun weekend for the Rockies, even with the frustrating things. I mean, and again, even with everything that's happened, still some problems, right? But when have you ever, if you ever, have you seen something like Friday? And then to come back on Saturday, and then to have the 3 home runs in a row, make some noise, and get themselves in a position to come back and almost complete the sweep. Awesome fun, awesome moments, especially from the guys that were doing it, the guys that were putting on the performances, some of the key moments throughout this weekend. We'll dive into it all here and more, because at the same time, Rockies pitching this weekend. Whoa, boy. I always sit here and talk about how the Rockies need to focus on offense. This weekend was a reminder of you can't ignore the Rockies pitching issues and the Rockies, just how big of a deal that is for this team. Before we go any further, got to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use the promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. So the Rockies, they win 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh in an absolutely insane series, because the Rockies, they go down 9-0 to start Friday. And I know all of you were feeling the same way I was feeling about the things after the first inning there. Oh my, this is just going to be one of those, another big blowout, another thing right in front of the home crowd. It's going to be a total gut punch. But, man, they were just showing time and time again throughout that game, chipping away and also letting it get out of hand. I mean, you know what I mean? The Rockies were down big multiple times. Get the first run in the first inning and then get it to a 9-4 game. And then they allow 3 runs. Then they allow 6 runs in the 4th and the 5th. And you're sitting there saying, like, oh my goodness, like, the Rockies are trailing by like 5+, 6+, 7+ runs at multiple points in this ball game, and you're sitting there like, oh my goodness, like there's no possible way. But man, they were able to lock in, and you know how time and time again I've preached about you got to make Coors Field the uncomfortable place to play. Well, that's exactly what the Rockies did this entire weekend, especially by eliminating and wiping away that deficit, a 9-0 deficit in the first inning from this offense that has been better, certainly. And you're looking at some of the numbers as improved, but it's how crazy it went down. Ezekiel Tovar ties a major league record and gets hits 4 doubles in a game. Warming Bernabel has 4 hits in that ball game, including a home run, as he continues his insane start to his career. Brenton Doyle walks it off. I mean, the Rockies score 7 runs in the final 2 innings, including a walk-off, including a Hunter Goodman home run. I mean, everybody contributing when they need to, making an impact, having an impact on this game. Young Kiel Fernandez, what a time for your first major league home run. I mean, that's what's amazing about baseball, and what's amazing about how many games you play, and what's amazing about just how things go sometimes is look at that. This is the Rockies who have won 30 games. Well, going into this, hadn't won 30 games. And we're sitting here saying they not only came back, but they won that game. There's just you can tell that this team does have a bit of have some vibes and have some energy, and has the ability to do cool stuff. And talk about the confidence from a warming Bernabel and some of the and these other young guys to lead the way. Talk about a prime example of how important Ezekiel Tovar is to the Colorado Rockies, and by breaking out in this game, and then to back it up by coming back and escaping the trouble again. That's insane. To bounce back again in that game 2, after again falling behind 4-0, to then have the monstrous 6th inning to come back and hang on. I mean, they gave up the run there, and again for it to be Jordan Beck leading the way, for warming Barnabel to have a couple of hits, for Brenton Doyle to get on, Anola contributing. I mean, Mickey Moniak doing the job, Ezekiel Tovar getting a hit and scoring. I mean, these are the guys, warming Bernabel aside, because holy cow, we'll have to see as it goes on, but he is a guy that you can tell has embraced this opportunity completely, and looks prepared and looks ready to go. The buzz I was seeing on Rocky's Twitter talking a little bit about, just impressed about, these are good looking at bats. Not only is he getting success and getting the hits and things, but he's looking confident. He's looking comfortable. He's looking like a seasoned vet up there in some ways. Still the small sample size. There's still a long ways to go for him, but this is just the type of stuff that does make you feel a little bit better about the Rockies. This is a series now. And again, as the second half, even with the frustrations of that road trip, even with the confusions of the trade deadline and some of the other stuff that we were kind of discussing in the frustrations, the Rockies now are playing great, confident baseball at home. And that is a small step forward in a key part of forming that identity. If the Rockies now can go in the second half and be a better team at home, and be a team that's playing right now, the Rockies have won 3 straight series at home. The Rockies hadn't won a home series until the second half of the season. So now for the Rockies to go and be a team that's been a threat at home, to make Coors Field that uncomfortable environment now. And yeah, you can say what you want about the talent, but look at how the Rockies did it. They did it in Coors Field fashion. They did it by having their offense compete and go back to back and fight back offensively, even when the pitching was not nearly up to snuff. And we will talk about the pitching here. This is not all puppies and candy canes when you look at the fact that the Rockies gave up a ton of runs this weekend as well. But that's okay when you win one. And it's also okay when your offense is able to produce the way that the Rockies offense did here. Even in the loss, the Rockies got back-to-back home runs. The Rockies scored 5 runs. The Rockies put runs on the boards. The Rockies did have good at-bats. Still struck out. Still had issues striking out. Still far from perfect. There's still, still some issues here. Absolutely. But when the offense is actually able to contribute, when the Rockies are getting performance, and you're looking at the overall lines for some of these guys, it's improving a little bit for things to be in a better spot for the Rockies offense, for them to flex a little bit and show that they can do damage. They can hit home runs. Mickey Moniak blasting the ball out of the yard, this weekend as well. Jordan Beck having the, back-to-back days with home runs here. This is and Hunter Goodman coming up there. That back-to-back. That's the first time the Rockies have gone back-to-back, I believe it was since 2019. They said it was Arenado, Story, and Desmond, I believe, was the last time the Rockies went back-to-back in a game. So as much as a bummer, and let's be honest, that's a little bit of a weird officiated game in that last one. Certainly not the difference maker completely. The Rockies, had a couple of execution issues, and again, a situation where the pitching just could not stop allowing runs. But that was a strangely officiated game, especially when you're talking about Jordan Beck getting thrown out there and maybe, again, saying some magical language, I guess is what are the words he was using there. But certainly that was a pretty weak ejection there, especially when you're thinking when you have the fact that there was some concerns and some issues with the officiating in that one. But obviously not the reason the Rockies lost. It's again, as much as we can sit here and be excited about the Rockies offense, the comebacks, having the confidence to stay in these games, we can't ignore the pitching either. And we can't ignore the fact that the Rockies do have a pitching a problem in their starting rotation. And they are briefly addressing it, but there needs to be a big conversation about what's going on and what's going to be next for this player. We'll talk about it all coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on and off the course, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. I'm working the morning shift this week. I'm going to need a little bit extra. And hey, maybe you might not be working the morning shift, but you got that early tea time because you're beating that afternoon sun. Or maybe you're thinking about checking out Rockies Blue Jays coming up in the afternoon and you want to hit some holes there before. Well, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion has you covered with the energizing and tasty shot. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use the promo code Locked On Golf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders, but that's 5hourenergy.com, promo code Locked On Golf. Locked On Rockies here, back at it for a segment 2 of Locked On Rockies after a real fun weekend. I mean, what a just absolute crazy series of games. And I mean, it was really cool to see. This was a situation. One thing that I've said a lot this year is the opposing crowds taking over Coors Field and being loud. Rockies fans showed out this weekend. If you stayed that entire time on Friday's game, I know there was some promo stuff and things like that, but it was a rocking crowd for the Rockies. And Pittsburgh had fans there. You heard that there was still plenty of applause. I mean, plenty of people wanted to tune in wanted to face Paul Skenes. We didn't even talk about that fact, the added wrinkle. So I know we'll talk about the pitching, but let's stay in the fun area for a little bit here, right? Let's kind of bask in this a little bit. It's been a long, tough season. Jordan Beck is the first player to hit a 3-run home run off of Paul Skenes in his major league career. The Rockies chased Paul Skenes out of the game. The Rockies put up 6 runs in a game where they're down to Paul Skenes and getting absolutely dominated, and then they turn it around completely, take the lead, and hold on and win. Like, I know I know the record. I know how the season's gone. I know this doesn't fix all the problems with the Rockies, but that is a damn good win right there. That is one of the best pitchers in baseball who was grooving, who was dominating the Rockies, and they go out there and get the job done. Of course, the other big storyline, and something we haven't even briefly mentioned here, we got to keep our eyes on Seth Halverson. That is probably serious. The last that we heard, or at least the last I saw before recording this, was Bill Schmidt said that they're getting multiple opinions, nothing to report yet. that reaction, the replay, and all that stuff. Oof, that was a buzzkill for on the weekend as well. That is going to be tough news for the Rockies there, because that, I don't know, hoping for the best, hoping for the absolute best. But man, when you see those reactions and just, there was just something about watching that to me just really, man, that's just tough. But hoping for the best, fingers crossed, obviously. But man, the fact that the Rockies down 4 with Skenes on the bump, man, that should be recipe for disaster, nail in the coffin. The Rockies are done. But unfortunately for Paul Skenes, it was Coors Field. It was the Rockies, playing their best baseball at home, and a weird mound day, I guess, too. When you're talking about the fact that the Rockies, that he was up there with the mound, they were doing some adjustments there. I don't know how much of a factor that is. I mean, pitchers are particular. There's no way about it, because Skenes pitching at the Air Force Academy, not pitching at altitude is not an unfamiliar thing for him. It's his first time pitching at Coors Field, so this version of it certainly is. But not one that's also is out of it's a complete foreign thing to him. So again, don't know how much that factored into it, but doesn't matter, because the Rockies took advantage of it, and the Rockies did the damage. And how about, of all the teams, of all the possibilities, of all the situations that Skenes could have allowed his first 3-run home run, it happens to be the Rockies, and it happens to be in this moment where they're playing good ball at home right now, and good ball in the second half of the season. Now, this is we have to bring it back here. We have to at least highlight and acknowledge the fact here that it was the reason why the Rockies had to make so many impressive comebacks. Well, it's because they found themselves trailing early in every single one of these ball games. The starting pitching, especially in this series, was just simply not enough. And the Rockies putting Antonio Senzatella on the IL with that blister is I'm sure a convenient thing, because the Antonio Senzatella conundrum is a big problem for the Colorado Rockies. He is just not performing at a major league level right now. He is just not giving the Rockies anything close to being competitive, and it didn't get any better throughout the rest of that night until you get to Jimmy Herget there, and Darnell making his major league debut. What a story for Dugan Darnell, to work his way through all of those levels, and then to get his opportunities in these games, to have to come in a big moment for the Rockies here, it turns out, and keep that game, keep it close, for him to go out and perform, do his job, only allowing 1 hit over the 2 innings pitched. Great stuff from Herget and Darnell. But Antonio Senzatella doesn't even get out of the first inning. Allows 8 earned runs, 7 hits. Carson Palmquist allows 3 earned runs. Angel Shavii allows 4 runs. I mean, that is just that is just painful. That is just really, really tough. And now you're looking at Antonio Senzatella here. He is now gone in his last. I tweeted this out here, but he has gone now in his last 2 starts. The has gone 4 2/3 innings in that time, allowing 14 earned runs, 3 home runs, 4 walks, only 3 strikeouts, also allowing 13 hits in that time. The opponents, the last 2 starts for Antonio Senzatella, have gone on to score 16 and 18 runs. Obviously, not all of those runs are associated with it, but when you give the Pirates a 9-run head start in the first inning here, that's a problem. He did pitch 7 innings of 3 earned, but he's given up at least 3 earned runs in his last 5 starts. He is just, it's there. He is not missing bats. He has had some strikeouts, certainly did not get any in the very short appearance against the Pirates, but not enough to negate the fact that he's walking people. He's giving up home runs. He's getting hit, and he's getting hit hard. For it to be 9 straight, 6 straight, for it to be how the Pirates got that game going in the first, that's unacceptable. That is just you cannot be allowing that at all, especially in the wake of the last start, and especially in the wake of this season, where it is just clear that Antonio Senzatella is not competing at the level that he needs to be. He is not challenging batters. He's not missing bats. And he might be getting the outs. He might be getting bailed out of it, but that's because of some good defense, and loud outs are still outs. I mean, there's a lot of solid contact against Senzatella. I mean, I shudder to look at the Antonio Senzatella baseball savant page here, but let's take a quick look here when we're looking at it. I mean, Senzatella ranks at the bottom of just he is literally in the bottom percentiles, the worst. He's in the bottom 1% of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 advanced categories, and even less than the bottom 1%. And when it comes to it's things like ERA, whiff abysmally low, chase abysmally low, strikeout percentage abysmally low. The best part about it is he does have a high ground ball percentage at 46%. But he is being hit and he has been having a tremendous amount of damage done. It is just not working for right now. And the Rockies will they have him on the IL. But there's going to have to be questions for sure, as his whip is just under 2 right now, 1.91. Just unacceptable. And it's growing pains for these other young pitchers as well, for the Rockies, as like we mentioned, at Palmquist and Shavii having some struggles here. Shavii has a nice performance here in the finale, though. Comes in and gets some good performances there. Does give up another earned run. Wasn't completely clean, but got a couple of strikeouts. The problem was I don't actually remember how he allowed it with not allowing a walk or a hit in the 2 strikeouts. I can't remember exactly how Shavii was tagged with the earned run. Might have been was there an error in something? No, the Rockies didn't have any errors. I don't quite remember how that happened. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, Bradley Blaylock allowing 7 earned runs in the appearance there as the starter in game 2. And then when you get to game 3 there and you're looking at it, and Austin Gomber, he settled in pretty nicely, actually. I knew I was saying the starting pitching there was a problem, but Austin Gomber actually settled in kind of nicely. But again, he allows the runs, had the 5 strikeouts, but those long balls continue to be a problem for him. All right, let's wrap up the show by just taking a couple of comments from the YouTube comment section about the trade deadline and other reaction to the weekend. We'll look ahead to the Toronto series as well as Locked On Rockies rolls along. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Maybe the Coors Field magic is going to continue, and we're going to see a lot of offense. I mean, the Blue Jays are a team that can score a lot. So maybe you're thinking about taking the over in this series. I mean, you can always do what I kind of suggest from time to time, which is take Rockies offense to strike out a lot. But you can see all the action for yourself and get in on the daily promotions, because they keep it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet on the FanDuel app. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. You can be placing same-game parlays, or maybe watch a bet right into the 9th inning, or get in on the live action with a little live bets as well. FanDuel makes it feel like you are part of the action. And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Locked On Rockies here, wrapping things up in segment number 3 of today's Locked On Rockies podcast. Free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. What a weekend, folks. Again, still plenty of, there's issues, there's things, but that's fun. That's what Coors Field is fun like that. That's what makes that environment so unique. That's what makes it so cool, and that's what's so great to see the Rockies take advantage and do so much damage there. And it's the Pirates. I understand. I know who the opponent is, but they were down 9-0. They came back in every single game. They showed life. They showed guts. They showed fight. They showed energy. A team that has every reason to kind of give up and go, woe is me, and has shown across a couple of examples that that's not the case for them. That they're approaching this and they are approaching this challenge and wanting to take things on. And now when you're looking at it and you're kind of zooming out here, if this is going to be the way the Rockies play at home for the rest of the second half of the season, that's how you avoid that worst team in baseball history record. The Rockies right now, they need to win 12 more games until by the end of the season. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 series at home left. And now, mind you, the Pirates were the last team that's going to be coming through Coors Field outside of now Arizona after their sell-off. Only 2 teams, the Pirates that they just played, and now Arizona coming up, that don't have playoffs on the mind and playoff aspirations. Toronto, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and I guess San Francisco too. They're going to be in an interesting spot. But the San Francisco, the Dodgers, Miami, who knows at that point? I mean, they're going crazy right now. And then the Angels. I guess the Angels aren't in the playoff ones, but maybe, I don't know. I guess they're kind of a weird middling team. Regardless, kind of butchered that. My point more is that wash the away series out. You have a chance here. If this continues to be the norm for the Rockies is winning baseball at home, you will avoid that history. You will avoid that record, and you will get yourself in a good spot there. And it's great to see. That's a small victory, a small little silver lining of the difficult season. Doesn't wash everything away, but a strong second half at home, that makes you feel good about what this team can do and the abilities of the Rockies to offense to come alive at Coors Field. All right. Let's see here. Christopher M on the trade deadline. I actually had 3 comments, but I like there's a lot of there here. So a lot of other good stuff that added here. But Christopher also says Rocks added 4 new guys to their top 30, plus 1 interesting arm is doing good at AA. That's a lot of upgrades for 3 guys who won't be there in 27 when they have a chance to compete. Hey, if they're competing in 27, which it could, I guess it could be. But that's when you're hoping for. That's, I think, when you're hoping for the earliest for that to be would be 27. So that's, like I said, I think I like Christopher's got some confidence there. Some other great points in the comments here. But Luxe says, short answer before the video is live, no. The moves the Rockies did were decent. We got 5 prospects for 3 players and somehow managed to trade Tyler Kinley, but we have 80 losses. Teams like the Giants, O's, and Twins all sold their teams way more than what the Rockies did. Why couldn't the Rockies do more? If I'm the Rockies, I'm trying to trade any player I can. Legit, they said everyone on the team is available but Tovar, and there were teams interested in Freeland and Vodnik, and the Rockies didn't do it. The Twins literally traded Correa and cash for 1 prospect. Why couldn't the Rockies trade Freeland for once? Yeah, so again, I kind of went there, but as I've marinated on it a little bit, I've kind of agreed with some more of the takes that I've seen. Still obviously thought and wish they could have done more, but I think when you kind of look at it, at least they say they didn't do anything. John says, I'm actually happy with the trades. Could they have done more? Sure, but compared to what they usually do, nothing. This is a win. I mean, they actually traded Ryan McMahon, which I did not believe would happen. I like that they kept Halverson and Vodnik too, because I do think they could be the core of the future bullpen. So it's cautious optimism from me. Let's see. Raul here says the Colorado Monfort's front office held back on trading more pieces because they now care about competing for the rest of the year. It's in their best interest to avoid the worst team in baseball history label. I'm with you. I definitely think they don't want that. And I don't know if how much that changed there. I didn't read the whole article. But Thomas Harding did do a piece on German Marquez and how the injury did impact the ability for them to trade him at the deadline, and we'll see what happens there. So I want to read that and kind of revisit that. But here's what G says. I think it's hard for people to say that the Rockies didn't trade enough without being privy to the negotiations. They did get the kid with the best name, Rock Riggio. That's true. Really cool. Jim says about the trade deadline. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, wait, sorry. I mean, they did okay, but not great. B- is the best I can give them. Why didn't they get more trades done? And will we ever know why? It is kind of a do what we have to do no more. And hopefully these fans that complain will be appeased. Let's see. Cassidy says, even for Coors, Friday's game was completely bonkers. It had everything. I was at the game with a couple of friends, and after the Pirates played at 9 in the first, we saw just about everybody shaking their heads, especially the Grand Slam. Good on these young guys for not giving up hope. When we started clawing our way back, two things really stuck out to me. Warming Bernabel and Duggan Darnell. Bernabel looked as comfortable as he could be hitting a triple and a home run. I found myself asking, where did this guy come from? He looks like a natural course field fit, and I'm hoping to see more of what he can do. Same for Darnell making his debut late in the game. He only pitched 2 innings, and he got 1 K while giving up a hit, but he looked absolutely confident. He induced some weak contact otherwise, so I'd like to see more of what he can do. The vibe was amazing. After Doyle's walk-off, nobody was leaving. It was as if we had just won a big playoff game. I think everybody was stunned in the best way, and rightfully so. I know I was. This is why we love baseball, and it's why I love this team. Even with 80 losses, every day is a chance for something amazing to happen. Love that, Cassidy. That is right. It's a good reminder right there as well. And Marco has a comment here, and we'll end on that. But I really liked Cassidy's words there. While I'll give them a brief applause for making 3 moves and bolstering their farm system, not enough was done. IL stints for so many trade pieces, especially Marquez, probably scuttled any market for these players. We'll never know if anything was offered for Marquez, but a single A player in exchange for him would still be better than nothing when he walks this fall. On a happier note, I liked seeing that Moniak wasn't moved. He seems to have found a home with the Rocks as a regular corner outfielder who can fill in for Doyle in center. I wouldn't mind seeing the Rockies try to keep him after the season. Thank you all so much for all your feedback, all your comments, letting me know. The trade deadline, always a busy time for us here at the Locked On Podcast Network, and always great to get your thoughts on it as well. It's always great for me to, hear what you guys are saying, what people are thinking, especially on something as big as the trade deadline and what's next for the Rockies. A fun weekend of Rockies baseball, a big challenge ahead in Toronto. I got a weird work schedule, so hopefully there might be a no episode Tuesday, but we'll be back for the rest of the week. Just I got to do some weird work stuff, but maybe we'll just see. We'll see how it all pans out. But thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. Thank you again for tuning into Locked On Rockies. Check out Locked On MLB and Locked On MLB Game Night for your second listen of the day. And if you need more Colorado sports coverage, Locked On Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Buffs, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Until next time, I'm Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.